is your breaking news?
Can't tell you. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Simon of Savageries, and breaking news, Pip's back.
Oh, that's different. Hi.
See what I did?
Yeah, that's
See
brilliant.
what I did there? And we're not going to be doing one, we're doing 2 videos tonight. So this video is going to be a catch up on what we've been reading since we last recorded, because it has been a little bit of a while, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
Just a little bit.
And then in the next video, we'll be talking about our 2019 plans, and also about The Girl in the Green Dress by Kath Staincliffe, which we both read. And it's just giving you a chance to have a little bit more time if you've not read it.
Mm-hmm. I finished it in September.
Which is when we said, yes, we'll come back more regularly and record. But Pip's been working on some massive events. Like, massive. How many people came to the Giants?
1.3 million? On the Giants, yeah.
Just a few people.
Just a few. Not many, yeah.
I've been doing the new job and lots of different exhibitions and stuff. So we haven't seen, well, we have seen each other. We had pizza the other week.
We did, yeah.
And we message on the phone sometimes. I actually phoned Pip and she was so bolshy with me because she was working.
Yes, I was busy.
When I was walking through the streets a little bit bored. Yeah. Also announce our next Crime Time read to read over the festive season. One that you want to really get wrapped up in. I think quite a lot of people might have read it already. But yeah, so we'll announce that in that video. So teaser, 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 teaser. Ooh. So Pip.
Yes.
How many books have you got to talk about? You've got 4 to talk about.
Yes, I've got 3 that I've read and 1 that I'm currently reading.
I've got 5, but 2
of
sort
course
of...
you have.
No, 2 count as 1.
Oh, okay. When 2 become 1.
We're literally reading that at the same moment. Pip.
Yes.
Let's catch up.
Yes.
Tell me about the first book, which I've also read as well.
You have, yeah. So I thought I'd talk about this one first. We could both have a little chime in. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is Snap.
So the first book I'm going to talk about is Snap.
Snap by Belinda Bauer. Is that how you say her surname, Bauer?
I think so.
Like,
it caused quite a lot of controversy this on my channel.
Oh, why?
Because I got into a bit of a debate with some of my commenters.
Always controversial.
Oh yeah. People were so sniffy about it being a man booker book.
Oh.
Because it's apparently not literary enough.
Oh, right.
And also just generally people saying it's a bad crime book. I didn't think it was a bad crime book.
No, I didn't either. The book starts with
The book starts off.
So it starts with a scene where we see Jack and his 2 younger sisters stranded in a car because their car's broken down, and their mum goes off to find help. She doesn't come back, so that's kind of where it starts initially in the first chapter. Then it jumps back to present day to Jack and his sisters currently.
And then it also skips to a different story, which is about a woman who's being broken into, who's pregnant, and it's how they all into it. One thing that's really good about doing wrap-ups about crime novels is you can't really give very much away. You have to do a bit. We do spoils when we talk about
the ones
our recent choice. We try
no
not
spoilers.
to. And what I think is really clever about this book, and what made me angry about people saying it wasn't very good and that it wasn't even a very good crime book, I read that on a flight in 1 sitting.
I remember you saying, yeah.
And I really kind of I sped through it. And I like it because it looks at quite a lot of social issues, I think.
It does, yeah. The fact that they were left on their own and not,
And it's how do you fend for someone, and then also how their dad copes.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
He
He does reappear at some point. So basically, Jack is looking after his sisters by himself when you kind of go to him in the present day. I thought it was really well done, and I thought the characters were really interesting. I did think there was a couple of cliches, like there was one twist that I spotted, and I can't say which one it is, but I'll tell you
really
after. Well, no, it was...
Yeah. So I the way you mentioned about obviously you meet Catherine at the start as well, and at the start those 2 storylines are so disjointed.
Yeah.
And at first I couldn't quite figure out how they were then going to join up. So I thought that was quite clever the way the 2 storylines eventually joined.
Yeah.
I felt like the twist wasn't really a twist, was it? The kind of kind of like figured that maybe halfway through and that stayed the same.
But then it became a bit of a sort of... This is the other thing as well. I think it then turns into a thriller because then they're trying to find out how they can prove the truth.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really, really interesting too. So yeah, I felt it got a bit of a kicking and didn't really deserve
I enjoyed
it.
it. I really felt for Jack as well.
Yeah.
He grew on me throughout, really.
Grew on you.
That was Snap.
I can't work out whether we talked about this in our last video or not because it's such a long time ago. But I don't know if I mentioned Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn.
It's Gillian, isn't it?
I think it is. This is a book about women being really, really horrible to each other, basically.
Yeah,
and
I've also read this.
Have you read it?
Yeah.
I didn't realise you'd read this as
well.
well.
I've read all Gillian Flynn.
Oh, she's read them all.
Oh, yeah.
It's about Camille, who she's a journalist. She's living away from home, but then there's a story about a murder in her hometown. She goes back, and you kind of go into the toxic relationship between her mother and her half sister. And I thought it was pretty brilliant. I watched the show whilst I was reading it. I did it wrong, Pip. Because I was watching the show first, and actually I think I needed to read the book first so that I could. Yeah, I think it's a rule in life.
I've not watched the show. Would you recommend it or?
Yeah. A little bit of nudity in it though, Pip. I'm not sure you're ready for that.
It's not family friendly.
No, it's not. Well, that whole book isn't family friendly.
Well, no.
It's family toxic.
The next book I have read is The Lion Game by Ruth Ware. So I'd previously read Simon, You Got Me into Ruth Ware.
I did. Which one was the first one that you read? Was it In a Dark, Dark Wood?
It was In a Dark, Dark Wood, which I think I've spoken about previously on the channel, and I did really enjoy that. And I've got Ruth's next book to read.
You have? I got you a signed one for your birthday.
You did,
because I'm so lucky.
So that's currently on my reading list, to-do list. So The Lion Game is about a group of 4 girlfriends, who are drawn back to their hometown in Salton by one of their friends who still lives there.
She sends like a message, doesn't she? Like,
she does. She sends a message.
Is it help
to them
me
all.
now, or you need to come now, or something?
Yeah.
And literally they all drop everything.
Yeah. They all drop everything back to their hometown of Salton, and basically it's about us finding out why she drew them all back and what their dirty secret is. Overall, I thought the book was okay. I'd maybe give it like a 3 out of 5. So not terrible.
I have now amazingly read all of hers, which is like Pip was way ahead of me, and I was going, oh, you should try Ruth Ware. She did this with the blinking Robert Galbraith ones. Try that, Pip. Read them all.
All gone.
Have you read the new one?
No, that's what we just said, Simon, if you were listening. I mean, it's a bit cliche of me, but I really like the female friendships within it. I don't know if anyone's watched Pretty Little Liars. Cringe. If there's any fans of that out there. That whole female, they've got a secret that they're all keeping, and this really strong female bond throughout, really.
I didn't realise in this one she was trying to write about the opposite of In a Dark, Dark Wood, because In a Dark, Dark Wood is very much about girls who aren't nice to each other. A little bit
and these are the bonds between
and this is the opposite.
Isn't it?
I have read, now that I've read all of hers, I will say that to me is probably my least favourite of her
and
4.
I read quite a few reviews after I'd finished the book just to see what other people's views were, and a lot of people seem to say that actually.
I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the thing is that what I like about Ruth Ware is I know I'm going to enjoy it. So yeah, that's The Lion Game. Well, I'm going to mention The Woman in Cabin 10 then. I read this on the plane back from America, because I like to read thrillers on planes because I hate being on the I don't mind takeoff and I don't mind landing, I just don't like being in the air. And this is all about a woman who ends up well, it's weird actually. The one bit that I didn't I can't really spoil this. There's an incident that happens at the beginning where she feels very vulnerable, and I didn't really understand 100% why that mattered for the rest of the book.
Yeah.
But actually then when I'm thinking about it, it does mean that people don't believe it because they think she's been through something when she starts. Anyway.
That kind of creeps up, doesn't it?
So that was absolutely no help to anybody, what I just said then.
I knew.
What happens then is she's a journalist, she ends up going on a cruise ship to try it out, to write about it, and she thinks she witnesses somebody being pushed off the boat. She thinks she sees blood, but nobody believes her because there's no one in cabin 10. Yet that's where she felt this woman was pushed, and you kind of follow it on. And I really enjoyed this. What I think is brilliant is Ruth Ware also, she has this thing where she'll take something that's quite textbook, or is quite a, not a cliche, but almost canon, if that makes sense. And then she'll twist it a little bit and modernise it, and I think she does that with this. So yeah, I can see why people are saying that she's like the new Agatha Christie.
Yeah, that one very
I think this one particularly.
Yeah. I did enjoy that one more than The Lion Game, definitely.
I really loved the first one. The first one properly freaked me out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely been my favourite so far,
But I think you'll really like the Death of Mrs. Westaway. It's got a tiny bit of a slow start, but bear with it. So yeah, that's The Woman in Cabin 10. So that's the other one I read. Then you've read, which I've not read.
My next book is A Stranger in the House by Shari Lapina.
Yeah, and she wrote The Couple Next Door, which we both read. That wasn't. Was that one of our choices?
I don't think so. I think we just spoke about it, maybe.
I find... No, sorry, you talk about it.
Okay. So, you've not read this, have
I know,
you?
but I was going to talk about it writing in general. Sorry.
So, A Stranger in the House is about a couple, Karen and Tom, set in New York, similar to Couple Next Door. This one's more like suburban New York, whereas obviously more central. Which, side note, I really like. I think she has a really good sense of place.
Oh, is that a setting that you like then, is it, Pip? We're trying to choose the next book, and Pip is so picky on where books are set. Not the Australian outback, and not the Texas wilds.
I just really struggle if it's somewhere that I don't like as a place. I really struggle to warm to the book and the characters for some reason.
Which is interesting because you don't like warm, dry places.
I hate it.
You prefer sort of colder. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Anyway, sorry, side note. You think they look like the perfect couple, but it starts with Karen is in an accident and she wakes up in hospital. And she doesn't know how she got there or why, and it's kind of the story tracing back, and actually Karen isn't all that you think she is. There's a bit of a backstory there to who she is, which is also a shock to husbands as well.
See, I think I've kept this because I like The Couple Next Door a lot. Well, when I say that, I always feel like it was the sort of book, I've kept this one for this reason, and blooming heck, Simon, it's going around the houses, let alone The Couple Next Door and the stranger in the house. But the reason I kept that one is, if I was having a massive, massive book funk, that would be one I'd turn to because they're so readable.
Yeah, they are.
And you can't stop reading them. But I don't think they're necessarily very well written. Were you compelled to read it? Were there shocks?
There were, and at the end there's a really big twist. It ends on a bit of a reveal. They're easy to just fly through, but maybe not the best writing style. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed it. I think it's quite creepy, which I think Couple Next Door is as well.
Yeah.
Which I quite like. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay. A book that I'm not sure whether, again, I feel like I might have talked about this. Well, I've definitely talked about it on this channel, but I might have talked about it in Crime Time before. This is The Craftsman by Sharon Bolton, and this is very, very different from her other books in the fact that it starts off in the present day when a former police officer is going to the funeral of somebody who was a killer. So you kind of know who the killer is actually at the beginning, which some people might be like, oh, in that case, I don't know if I want to read it because, you know, but it is a really clever why done it. And she goes back to her hometown from where she was a policewoman in the 70s. And then actually you skip back to the 70s and it's set at the base of Pendle Hill, which is famous for witches. And surely enough, as it goes on, supernatural things sort of intermingle. Now, I wondered whether you would like that because the book that we're reading next, which we're not going to tell you about what it is, you have to watch the next video, is a little bit of a different crime novel, whereas I always think that you like quite, what's the word?
No, I know what you mean, yeah. But I think I need to broaden my horizons.
I'm not calling you basic.
I'm basic.
I stopped you saying something nearly naughty then, didn't I? But yeah, but I would recommend it because it's just really different, quite odd and quirky, but also looks at the misogyny of the police. So yeah, so it's really, 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 really good. And I really like Sharon Bolton's writing.
Yeah, we reviewed one of her books previously.
Yeah, she does. She makes me turn those pages. I really like it when it's a page turn with lots of layers. Now then, Pip, let's show everyone the state of the book you're currently reading.
This is what I'm currently reading. You can't really
just
see
hold it
it. You
closer.
can't. It's fine. It's
Look,
absolutely
look at that
fine.
and then get ready.
That looks like I'm really dirty. I promise I'm not. It's basically my bag. All the bits off my bag come off and they stick to it. It's the bag.
Anyway, tell us about The Night She Died by Jenny
So
Blackhurst.
this, Simon's just said, I don't know why I was going to say it again.
Who got you this book, Pip?
Oh, so Andy got me this, my lovely boyfriend.
This is also why we haven't recorded for a Washington theme anymore.
That's not true.
It's not true.
Um,
Hello, Andy.
So Andy knows about, as you say, my basic style.
I said I'm not calling you basic.
Anyway.
But you do like, I think you
I'm
like quite
interested,
trope.
I
That was
agree.
the word, trope. You like quite trope
I don't
crime.
know what that means, but I'll just say it. Anyway, I'm about 2/3 of the way through this and I am really enjoying it. So teaser, it's about, again, a really strong female friendship actually between Evie and her best friend Rebecca. We start looking at, again, present day and past, and they're starting to catch up the two chapters, which is really nice. It's not really a teaser because it kind of says, but it starts with Evie on her wedding night, who we think kills herself, jumps off a cliff. And we're starting to reveal throughout that her best friend kind of knew why, and maybe not all as it seems. So it's kind of her best friend and her husband trying to figure out why she did what she did.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I feel like there's going to be a big twist. I'm not at that point yet, but it's building up to it.
Oh, that sounds very good.
Yeah, it is. I'm really enjoying it. The writing style of the current day and the past, and they're basically gradually catching up to them.
That's something that's used quite a lot in crime. What I like, two things in crime particularly. I like one where you're seeing it from different people's perspective. I really like it when you do have like who's telling the truth and you have several unreliable narrators who might be lying about something. I love that.
Yeah.
I also really love it when it's like something from the past is coming back to haunt and you sort of flip between the two. I do like that as a style.
But yes, I've actually I'm enjoying the writing style a lot as well. So I've just purchased a couple of other Jenny Blackhurst books.
Oh, should be thrilled. Should be absolutely thrilled. Well, a new to me author. Now, this is where I'm going on a bit of a taking it on a different tangent, these are not crime books, but they both have a real mystery at the heart of them, a bit like Joanna Cannon's books do, which I really, really love. And they are Jess Kidd's himself, Hoarder Clothes, and Jess Kidd's The Hoarder. And it's very rare for me to read more than one book by an author in a year. I tend to kind of like eke them out. But I read The Hoarder first, which is her second novel. Now this is all about a woman called Maud who is looking after a man who is hoarding, and slowly but surely... Maud. Well, she's not the one who's hoarding.
Sorry, I just had to. Carry on.
Cathal Flood is the one who's hoarding. And I think in America this is called Mr. Flood's Last Resort. She then realises there's a secret going on. Why is some of his house really hidden away from everything? What's going on? So it's a mystery, but at the same time, the weird twist with it is, which I thought made it brilliant, is she can see saints.
Oh. And
the saints are all quite sarcastic, quite narky, and they sort of help her solve this riddle. Yeah. Mad. Then, going backwards, I read her first novel, Himself, which is all about Mahoney, who goes back to his hometown where he believes something happened to his mother. He was left in a home for kids and with a note, and I don't want to give any more away because I'm really, I suddenly thought, how much are we giving away? But he goes back, and then what's weird about this is it starts off with a really horrific scene. It's really violent and it made me really uncomfortable. You know what happens at the beginning, you know there's been a murder, so you know that Mahoney's going to find out what's happened with this murder. But at the end of the murder, when his mother's been murdered, the forest captures him. But then as you read, he can see dead people, and also there's all these kind of myths that weave into it. So it's very different. Is that the sort of thing you would ever read?
Yeah, it sounds good actually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, meant to buy.
So maybe we'll try some different stuff. So yeah, so those are the sort of crime and mysteries that we have read over the last few months, because we've been dreadful. But we will be talking about The Girl in the Green Dress in our next video, which will be up in a couple of weeks. So if you still want to get to it, get it. It's out in paperback. This is the hardback, obviously. Yeah, head to that. We'll also be talking about some 2019 plans and revealing what our next choice is. Ooh. Till then, well, until my next video, actually. It's bye from me.
Bye.
And Pip.
I was like a robot then.
Bye.
Press the buy button.
Yeah, she's gone.
I really enjoyed the book. Yeah. Well, I'll start that again because I didn't actually.